Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Hopefully you guys doing good. I'm doing pretty good, thank you so much for asking, even though you didn't. It's okay, I forgive you, I forgive you. Let me make sure, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna be whispering a little bit just because my wife is sleeping. She's not feeling very good today. I'm a little tired myself, so if I do sound a little sleepy, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, she was very low compared to my voice, huh? Yeah. Let me put my shit a little lower. There you go. Maybe. Now you're gonna hear me a little better. Alright, let's try that. Maybe that sounds better, maybe. Yeah, she was very low compared to my voice, huh? Give it a second so I can test it here. There you go. Maybe. Now you're gonna hear me a little better. Let's try that. Yeah, that's better. Sounds better, maybe. Probably better. Hello. Give it a second so I can test it here. Yeah. Maybe. Now you're gonna hear me a little better. Okay. Let's watch a little something here.
Apple would routinely be banned from launch events, taken off lists for review units, and worst of all, shunned by Steve Jobs, who maintained close personal relationships with the very reporters who were supposed to be holding his company accountable to investors and the public. Denton aimed to flip this dynamic on its head, taking Valleywag in the complete opposite direction, its writers being utterly unafraid of backlash, sometimes to the point of recklessness. In the years they were operational, Valleywag happily aired out the personal affairs of powerful figures like Google's Larry Page and Eric Schmidt. They'd leak private correspondence, highlight stories of sex and hypocrisy, and readily go where other publications wouldn't dare. This mentality is what led Gawker to break the story of Toronto Mayor Rob Ford's crack addiction, to reignite rumors of Bill Cosby's sexual assaults, and it published the first anonymous claims against Kevin Spacey and Louis C.K. In their mind, as long as something was true, it was fair game. But it was also this move fast and break things approach that led to some other more heinous stories being published during these years as well, which included leaked nude photos of celebrities and the publishing of sex tapes against the subject's will, which is pretty heinous, inexcusable shit. I'm not here to defend the integrity or lack thereof that Gawker possessed. Even Nick Denton himself agreed with NBC's assessment of Gawker as snarky, sexual, shameless, and mean. But it is important to understand that these latter reasons I just gave weren't exactly the reasons why Thiel despised them. He had it out for Gawker long before they started flirting with the more inexcusable forms of content. And those reasons were entirely personal. As far as Valleywag was concerned, Peter Thiel considered them, and this is an exact quote, the Silicon Valley equivalent of Al-Qaeda, even doubling down on the comparison when he said its employees should be described as terrorists, not writers or reporters. Again, Valleywag he's talking about, the one that went after his friends, not Gawker as a whole, just need to point that out. Though he acknowledged that terrorism is obviously a charged analogy, Thiel maintained that it's like terrorism in that you're trying to be gratuitously meaner and more sensational than the next person, like a terrorist who is trying to stand out and shock people. It's an interesting theoretical question, he added, whether if Valleywag went away, something else would fill in to replace it. But why would Thiel be asking a question like that? Sure, he didn't enjoy their lambasting of his politics and seasteading, but there was also something more personal bubbling beneath the surface for Thiel. And to understand that something, we need to go back to the source, published almost 20 years ago. Peter Thiel is totally gay, people. Those were the 6 words that came screaming across Thiel's screen one fateful morning in December 2007. It was a story published by Valleywag contributor Owen Thomas, a man who had been dropping occasional hints at Thiel's sexuality in previous pieces, but decided on this day to come out and finally say outright what he had been implying all along. It was a brief article, and Chafkin notes that it had been Denton's idea to publish. Denton and Thomas, both fellow gay men, were personally of the mind that the closet should be thrown wide open, with Thomas later remarking that I see the whole assumption that there is a closet that people are in or out of as it problematically reifying heteronormativity, arguing that in his view, hiding one's sexuality actually reinforces inequality and discrimination. Here's what the piece said. How many out gay VCs do you know? I think it explains a lot about Thiel. His disdain for convention, his quest to overturn established rules, like the immigrant Jews who created Hollywood a century ago. A gay investor has no way to fit into the old establishment. That frees him or her to build a different, hopefully better system for identifying and rewarding talented individuals and unleashing their work on the world. That's why I think it's important to say this. Peter Thiel, the smartest VC in the world, is gay. More power to him. Chafkin also points out that Denton and Thomas were hardly alone in this style of reporting at the time. Back then, it was actually pretty common to see celebrities' sexualities being openly discussed on the front page of tabloids, with Out magazine including Anderson Cooper and Jodie Foster as celebrities who were widely known to be gay, but who'd never made it explicit, on its cover under the headline, The Glass Closet. What's more is that Thomas never felt like he and Denton were necessarily outing Thiel in the conventional sense, as just about everyone with close business dealings with Thiel knew about his sexuality anyway. By this point, Thiel had been in a long-term relationship with BlackRock Vice President Matt Danzisen and had been spotted with him at Christmas parties. Thiel's Friendster profile, according to Thomas, reportedly made clear that he was into men. As one longtime employee of Thiel's said, it wasn't even an open secret that Thiel was gay, it was just open. What Thomas took particular issue with was the way people treated Thiel as if he were straight. As he saw it, Thiel was not in the closet, but his peers had effectively chosen to closet him anyway, telling Max Chafkin, it's a strangely conservative industry. Let's just talk about that. The piece only generated about 1,000 page views when it was first published, and no one working at Clarion seemed to take note of it whatsoever. Besides, Thiel was used to being featured in big, mainstream news outlets by that point in his career, so a little blip like this on Valleywag shouldn't have gotten under his skin, but it did. Very much so. And it was the comment left by Denton underneath the article that pushed him over the edge. Denton wrote, the only thing that's strange about Thiel's sexuality, why on earth was he so paranoid about its discovery for so long? It was this implication that Thiel was not just gay, but psychologically unstable for wanting to keep his sexuality somewhat private that struck a particular chord within the man. Though he didn't show it right then, Gawker would learn of the formidable enemy it had made. But all of that was to come later. For right now, Thiel was to bide his time, play the long game, set meetings, arrange dinners, and ultimately do what he's always done best, scheme from the shadows, and he couldn't do it alone. In April 2011, Peter Thiel met in Germany for what would become one of the most consequential meetings of his life, and unbeknownst to them, the lives of just about everyone working at Gawker. Thiel had been in the process of shopping around ideas to get back at the publication for years when he finally sat down with one Aaron D'Souza, an intellectual property law expert who believed he could assist with Thiel's Al-Qaeda problem, to use Peter's terminology. What D'Souza proposed was for Thiel to use him as a cutout to get back at Gawker and Nick Denton. The plan, according to Chafkin, was for D'Souza to set up a shell company that would anonymously fund lawsuits against Gawker, overwhelming it with litigation until it shut down. The venture was going to be expensive, and D'Souza made the wild move of suggesting a $10 million price tag. But before the end of the night, Thiel was in. Just to give you an idea of how little that kind of money actually matters to a guy like Thiel. Now, although Teal and D'Souza weren't exactly clear on the details of their own plan just yet, they knew that whatever they did to go after the outlet, it ultimately needed to be legal, which in Teal's words, it placed a big limitation on what they were actually allowed to do. They considered spying on employees, bribing writers in an attempt to sabotage the company and humiliate Denton, even bugging the newsroom, but that would all be extremely risky and could potentially blow up in their faces if they were ever found out. Despite being a literal professional hedge fund manager, Teal wasn't ready to go that far out on a limb. Although Chafkin does cite one Gawker employee who remembers being approached by Palantir executives around this time and recalls the way they questioned him on their servers. What security vendors did Gawker use? How many people worked at the office overnight? It was only later, Chafkin writes, that it occurred to this employee he'd divulged enough to mount a successful hack. I'm sure it was all fine though. The bottom line is that Teal was happy to take his time going a safer route if it meant achieving the most effective knockout blow. Now, if you want the Peter Teal side of the story, look no further than Ryan Holiday's book, Conspiracy, which covers the assault on Gawker at great length, and although it is fairly entertaining, it also does a lot to portray Teal in the most sympathetic terms imaginable, I would say. I mean, here he is literally promoting the book himself on stage, sitting across from the author, just to give you an idea of the kind of bias we might be dealing with here. But Holiday was given plenty of access to Teal in writing this book, and it remains a decently solid source of information as long as you ignore Holiday's constant and exhaustive comparisons of Teal to Machiavelli every other page. I mean, even the reviews complain about this, so I know I'm not going crazy. But as Holiday put it was paramount to Peter that he not be associated with the plan in any way, which is why D'Souza was there to take the fall if something goes wrong. From there, the search for a legal team was on, but D'Souza needed to be discreet, which is why his pitch normally consisted of, hey, I've been charged to take down a major media outlet by a group of wealthy individuals who will fund causes of action. Would you be interested? They eventually did find someone interested. Charles Harder, a veteran entertainment lawyer who would cut his teeth defending the likes of George Clooney, Sandra Bullock, Kate Hudson, and others. But what makes Harder an excellent choice is that he wasn't concerned about who was funding D'Souza's scheme. As Holiday reports, Harder doesn't ask directly, not then, not ever, who is behind this. He seems entirely comfortable with being the hatchet man for an unknown entity with unknown motivations. The way it worked, Holiday explains, is that money would be wired from Peter's people to D'Souza. D'Souza wires it to Harder. In the business of bringing down Gawker, D'Souza was the president, Harder was the CEO, and Teal the majority shareholder who expected his men to mind his money and find the returns he's after. But there's another character Holiday forgets to include, Charles Johnson, who Max Chafkin describes as a notorious alt-right troll and a friend of Teal's who would come to serve as an important political advisor and confidant, probably due in part to the way he knew how to flatter. Johnson apparently began calling the billionaire Sensei Teal. To Chafkin, Johnson was just as significant to the plot against Gawker as D'Souza was. Instead of D'Souza's plan to meticulously identify bulletproof cases, Chafkin wrote, Johnson favored total war. After being accosted by the site himself in the past, he was hell-bent on burning down Gawker no matter the cost. And with Teal's blessing, Johnson began crisscrossing the country, looking for anyone, anywhere who'd been aggrieved by Gawker. The group was on the hunt for anyone with a winnable case against the outlet, and over the years, Harder brought several cases against Gawker that included one from a man who claimed to have invented email and who had been mocked by the website, another from an independent journalist whom Gawker had suggested might be suffering from a paranoid freakout, and others that Chafkin notes. But none of these efforts came anywhere close to the efficacy or intrigue as the one eventually brought by Terry Boella, a man you probably know best as Hulk Hogan. Oh God, man, where to even begin with this one? I don't think he needs any introduction, right? And would probably know best as Hulk Hogan. Oh God, man, where to even begin with this one? I don't think he needs any introduction, right? Six-time WWE champion, iconic entertainer, symbol of American prowess at the height of the Cold War, Hulk Hogan's larger-than-life persona precedes him for better or for worse other times. But by the late 2000s, Hogan's family life was coming apart at the seams. His marriage was over in all but name, his daughter's music career that he had poured millions of dollars into was going nowhere, and in 2007, his son wrapped his car around a tree in a drunk driving accident that left a passenger permanently brain damaged. That same summer is when Hogan received a call from his wife officially telling him that she was never coming back. It was against this backdrop that Hogan turned to an old friend for comfort, Bubba the Love Sponge. Yes, that is his legal name. While we don't need to waste too much time on his backstory, Holiday gives us the rundown on Bubba's career as a shock jock, known for killing a live pig on the radio, for having porn stars use sex toys on each other for his listeners' benefit, and for calling the 2010 Haiti earthquake a cleanse. But Bubba was also a very close confidant of Hogan's. He was there when the wrestler's father died, and he was going to be there again for this tragedy as well, willing to do anything he could to help out his friend in a time of crisis. And so was his wife. See, Bubba and his wife Heather had long been in an open marriage, so it didn't come as too much of a shock when Bubba presented his pal with an unconventional offer. "My wife wants to f*** you," was the message, and it didn't take much to convince the Hulkster. But as Holiday writes, even as Bubba gave him his word that there were no strings attached and that nothing was to be filmed, not a word is said about how the summer before, the husband and wife had paid a handyman to install a small camera on the wall over the wet bar in the bedroom. They didn't tell him that at some point in the evening, one of them had walked to the closet where the camera was hardwired, inserted a DVD, and pressed the record button, an incredibly consequential detail that was never made apparent to Hogan throughout the affair, even after moving in with Bubba and his wife. By the time the affair was over, Holiday writes, Hogan moved on in ignorance of the event that would soon send his life spiraling into chaos. Not that it wasn't already about as chaotic as it could get, though. At one point, he told a reporter that things were bad enough that he can emphasize with O.J. Simpson. He could see himself turning his home into that bloody crime scene, Holiday wrote. Nevertheless, Hogan managed to rebuild his life over the next few years, just in time for things to come crashing back down in March 2012, when rumors of a Hulk Hogan sex tape began floating around on TMZ. That September is when a package showed up at Gawker's headquarters. Addressed to then editor AJ Delario, it was an unedited 30-minute tape of Hogan having sex with Bubba's wife. Delario ordered it to be cut down in a 1-minute highlight reel, in his words, and decides to take it public. Instantly, Hogan demands it be taken down, but Gawker refuses. Hogan goes to the media and suddenly catches the attention of Charles Harder, who takes him on as a client. Just like that, Peter Thiel had found his perfect vehicle. It didn't take long for Harder to file a suit against Bubba for his part in recording the encounter, though he quickly amended the complaint to include Denton and Delario. He was asking for $100 million in damages. While most of the public assumed this to be an entire event staged by Hogan, this was in fact very real. And Chafkin writes that Hogan had actually been working to suppress another, more damaging audio recording in which he used racial slurs. Turns out Hogan had used the N-word to describe his daughter's romantic partner, unwittingly admitting on tape that he was racist to a point. Hogan apologized for the comments and stated that it wasn't who he was. While meanwhile, Chafkin writes, Nick Denton had begun to negotiate with Hogan's team on discussing a settlement, as they had done with similar sex tape related cases in the past. But as time dragged on and Hogan continued to refuse massive million-dollar paydays, it became quite clear to Gawker employees that something was going on, like someone was playing a game, in the words of one employee. One of the strangest moves from the get-go was Hogan dropping the claim that Gawker had caused him emotional distress, but in retrospect, this was a highly calculated move that actually hurt Gawker's chances of obtaining liability insurance. As Chafkin points out, normally plaintiffs don't want to bankrupt a defendant if they hope to collect a judgment or settlement, but Hogan was suddenly acting as if Gawker's bankruptcy, rather than a large cash payment, were his goal. Why would he try to limit Gawker's ability to pay pay him. Another mystery, Harder's firm had few cases but seemed to have an unlimited budget. At court appearances, Hogan's lawyers would stay at the city's nicest hotel. Where was the money coming from? Was someone compensating Hogan for pursuing the lawsuit? Maybe if Gawker understood what was truly unfolding behind the scenes, they'd be better prepared to tackle what was in front of them. It would have given them plenty of material to write about, after all, and it wouldn't have exactly reflected the best on Thiel. It also would have shifted Gawker's legal strategy. But the reality was that Peter Thiel maintained the upper hand at all times. Unfairly so, I should add. Unlike Denton, Thiel actually knew who his enemy was. And also unlike Denton, he had an infinite pool of money to pull from. The years-long endeavor did, in fact, costing Thiel about $10 million in the end, or rather, about 0.37% of his net worth at the time. Denton, on the other hand, didn't exactly have $100 million lying around. And because of Florida state law, where the case was being fought, it looked like they weren't going to be able to appeal if things didn't go their way. As Holliday explains, in order to appeal a civil verdict, petitioners have to post superseded bond equal to the amount of the verdict, essentially proving they could pay what they would owe if their appeal was not successful. The cap was $50 million. If Hogan could actually get to a trial, if he could get this case in front of a jury, and if that jury sided with him in any substantive way, Gawker would be finished. But even with the odds looking very much in their favor, Thiel and Harder weren't taking any chances. Thiel began to put together expensive mock trials in an attempt to gauge their best approach, see what arguments would work best, and understand what types of jurors would be most receptive. D'Souza later admitted to Holliday that it became very clear that the kind of jurors we wanted were overweight women. Most people can't emphasize with a sex tape, but overweight women are sensitive about their bodies and feel like they have been bullied on the internet. Men don't have that problem. They haven't been body shamed, he said. And the jury they ended up assembling was not one made up of Gawker's peers, Holliday wrote. By the end of it, 3 of the people sitting in that box would be overweight women. A 4th looks like a conservative married woman. The 2 men are not young hipsters. This is a jury who would say during the selection process that they got most of their news from Fox News, not from Twitter. It is a jury whose fellow residents, 8 months later, would go for Donald Trump in the presidential election with a shade over 48% of the vote. Finally, on March 18th, 2016, Harder, alongside beloved American icon Hulk Hogan, would make their case to that very jury. And after just 6 hours of deliberating, they delivered the death blow. $141 million in damages. The publication was finished. Denton financially ruined. Countless employees who had nothing to do with the Hogan tape or Thiel's outing many years before were suddenly out of a job, unable to support their families the way they had been. Gawker filed for bankruptcy that June, around the time Peter Thiel felt comfortable enough to go public and brag about what he had done. He was proud of it, and in fact described the dismantling of Gawker as his finest act of philanthropy. Gamergate warriors who had long despised Gawker and its affiliates celebrated, and for a little while hashtag "Thank you Peter" trended on Twitter. But the fact that one man, someone with endless time and money at his disposal, was allowed to go out and ruin an entire media empire just because he felt like it doesn't exactly set the greatest precedent going forward, in my mind. It doesn't feel like something someone should be able to do in a normal functioning society. But it could also be argued that this society was set up in part to skew in favor of people like Thiel first and foremost, with Thiel himself playing a significant role in upholding those very mechanisms of power thanks to his foray into a different world of shamelessness and opportunism beyond the confines of a catty tabloid, the world of politics. The same month Gawker gave its death rattle, Peter Thiel took his victory lap on stage at the Republican National Convention, where he flaunted his identity as a proud gay Republican. He wasn't just a speaker either. He was an official Trump delegate, an honorable title and a fact that we can see spelled out quite plainly in Jeffrey Epstein's emails, but that's unrelated. What's important to note here is that this was the culmination of all of Thiel's efforts to fund and support various right-wing candidates candidates since at least the 2012 election, where he propped up and subsequently stole the support of Libertarian candidate Ron Paul. His initial pick for 2016 had been Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorina before jumping ship to Lion Ted Cancun Cruz.
You are the single biggest liar. You probably are worse than Jeb Bush.
But when neither of those losers panned out, the writing on the wall became clear. In order to gain further influence in Washington, Thiel would need to make the biggest hedge of his life by being the first and only Silicon Valley power broker to throw his weight behind a polarizing real estate mogul, a bet he was rewarded for heavily with this awkward hand thing he did with Trump shortly after the win. But if you were around back then, you'd know Trump's first win was anything but uncontroversial.
New details are emerging about how the shadowy data firm Cambridge Analytica worked to manipulate voters across the globe.
Founded in London in 2013, Cambridge Analytica was established by Alexander Nix to try and predict the personality types of Facebook users based on their personal data. Yeah, it sounds really cool, right? Well, Steve Bannon seemed to think so, which is why he helped raise money for it alongside the Mercer family, some of the biggest movers and shakers within the Republican Party. The idea was to use people's data to market specific political ads on Facebook that they might be most receptive to. But because they couldn't get the data straight from Facebook, Nix recruited a researcher by the name of Alexander Kogan to create an app that would harvest the Facebook data of 87 million Americans, ultimately in support of Donald Trump, who would rely on using targeted Facebook ads to raise money and turn out voters, spending around $100 million on the social media platform. The original idea to create an alternative app had come from a Palantir employee in London, as reported by the New York Times in 2018. As Amnesty International determined, Cambridge Analytica was able to access data that included status updates, likes, and even private messages. As the Times pointed out, when the scheme blew wide open, Thiel was seen as especially compromised. After all, he had founded Palantir, was an angel investor in Facebook, who still sat on its board of directors, and had been one of Trump's most ardent defenders. He was obviously put in an awkward position, and while Palantir initially put out a statement arguing it had never been in a relationship with Cambridge Analytica, nor have we ever worked on any Cambridge Analytica data, they were forced to revise this position later, clarifying that actually, that employee I mentioned wasn't acting on behalf of Palantir when he advised Cambridge Analytica co-founder Christopher Wiley on data scraping. According to Max Chafkin, Wiley would end up testifying that he saw Palantir engineers in the Cambridge Analytica offices where they were giving Cambridge Analytica logins and helped build additional apps to harvest more private data from Facebook users. Wired reported in 2017 that Cambridge went on to conduct hundreds of thousands of voter surveys for the Trump campaign to better understand the likely Trump voter, and sent a full-time staffer to the New York headquarters who could relay these findings to senior staff. Based on these surveys, RNC data the Trump team collected itself, and commercially available information from data brokers, Cambridge Analytica's chief product officer developed with his team a heat map of the country to pinpoint where Trump should visit to maximize his impact on potentially persuadable voters. In 2022, Facebook's parent company Meta agreed to finally settle the Cambridge Analytica scandal for a sum of $725 million, a cut of which could have been yours, by the way, if you had a Facebook account between the years 2007 and 2022. If only you had filled out the application by August of 23. Yeah, I got some FOMO too. Thiel enjoyed a cushy spot on the executive committee of Trump's 2016 transition team regardless, and was allowed to recommend potential employees who could disrupt the administrative state. That kind of sounds familiar. In fact, Thiel was so ready to get in there and break things that he turned over a list of 150 potential names for Trump to consider adding to the bureaucracy. At first, he wanted Trump's science advisor to be this guy who once compared the demonization of fossil fuels to Hitler's treatment of the Jews. Then another recommendation he gave was this dude who had written an entire book going after political correctness and the globalists, though Max Chafkin argues that what he really meant by globalists was Jews, whom he considered belligerent by nature. His choice to lead the FDA was a guy who didn't think regulation trials for drugs were necessary, you know, the main thing the FDA does. Even Steve Bannon admitted Peter Thiel's idea of disrupting government is out there. People thought Trump was a disruptor. They had no earthly idea what was being pitched by Thiel, he said. Trump didn't end up going with many of Thiel's picks in the end, though, at least not this first time around. In fact, Thiel kind of fell out of the president's inner circle around the time Bannon was ousted as White House chief strategist. As Dan Friedman and David Corn determined, Trump's first term left Thiel disappointed. Thiel hoped Trump would burn everything down, but it turned out he was either too unwilling or too stupid to do so. Maybe both. Either way, the rift became wider by 2023, when the then presidential hopeful asked Thiel for a donation of $1.25 million to fund his 2024 bid, in what three sources confirmed was a contentious phone conversation. Per the Washington Post, Thiel refused. Taking it a step further, Thiel famously announced that he'd be sitting out the 2024 election entirely, in part because of all the flack he had caught in the 2022 midterms when he played a massive role in funding two candidates for U.S. Senate. One was Blake Masters, a venture capitalist and longtime ally of Thiel. They even wrote a book together in 2014. Though the two had been very close for a very long time, it was Masters' views on gay marriage that garnered the most controversy for both men along the campaign trail. After all, if it weren't for a $15 million donation from Peter Thiel, a gay man, Masters wouldn't have made it anywhere. Not that he went very far, though, losing the general in November despite another jolt of 2.5 million Thiel bucks just a couple weeks before the election. But I think we know by now that at his core, Peter Thiel is a man who spreads his bets around, doesn't put all of his eggs in one basket. Sure, Blake Masters may not have offered Thiel much of a return on his investment, but someone else did.
Here, CBS News projects that in the state of Ohio, J.D. Vance will be the next Republican senator.
Over the course of his 41 years on Earth, James Donald Bowman would change his name and identity several times before finally morphing into Vice President J.D. Vance. Brought up in a world of turmoil and poverty in the Appalachian town of Middleton, Ohio, Vance never really had much of a consistent father figure growing up. His parents, Donald and Beverly, divorced around the time he began walking, he wrote. And with Donald out of their lives, Beverly changed his name to James David. He became James David Hamill after his mother remarried for a third time, but switched over to his grandmother's last name, Vance, shortly before graduating law school. These are just a few of the thrilling revelations spelled out in his apparently best-selling book, Hillbilly Elegy, which I only own because they were selling it for $1 at a library book sale by my house. The only ethical way to consume Hillbilly Elegy short of stealing it, as far as I'm concerned. But it wasn't just Vance's name that appeared to blow with the wind, so did his political and religious convictions. As Vance wrote about extensively in Hillbilly Elegy, and as author Jacob Silverman summed up more succinctly in his book Gilded Rage, Vance had grown up steeped in evangelical Christianity, but in college he drifted into Sam Harris-style atheism, a common enough path for a young man in the place and time. His colleagues saw him as politically conservative, but not radically so. That would change. As journalist Gil Duran wrote shortly after Vance clinched the VP nomination, stories about Vance tend to focus on his hardscrabble Ohio roots, but his relationship with Peter Thiel and his stint in San Francisco are key to understanding his politics. For a guy as politically malleable as Vance, being able to witness Thiel lay out his ideology at Yale in 2011 was akin to finding what Silverman called a final form. Vance himself would go on to write in 2020 that Peter's talk remains the most significant moment of my time at Yale Law School. He articulated a feeling that had until then remained unformed, that I was obsessed with achievement in, say, not as an end to something meaningful, but to win a social competition. Through Peter Thiel, Vance was introduced to the work of contemporary philosopher René Girard and his theory of mimetic desire, the idea that all human desire imitates the desires of others, almost always without awareness, according to the Colloquium on Violence and Religion. Silverman writes that in Girard's view, because the frenzy of competition could spill over into violence, the solution was the scapegoat mechanism, finding an outside force against which rivals could unite and enact violence. violence. Vance himself has reflected on the power of scapegoating before, arguing in the past that efforts to shift blame and our own inadequacies onto a victim is a moral failing, projected violently upon someone else. Yet here he is, just a few short years after writing those words, relying on the scapegoating of Haitian and Somali immigrants to further his own political career. Interesting how that happens.
I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I'm definitely not going to vote for Trump because I think that he's projecting very complex problems onto simple villains.
In just under a decade, Vance has experienced one of the biggest heel turns I think I've ever witnessed in modern American politics. He went from having his award-winning book lauded by liberal elites, even being adapted into an Oscar-nominated film directed by Ron Howard, to supporting policies that directly harm the very rural communities he grew up in. He went from calling Donald Trump America's Hitler in private and a cultural heroine in public to being the heir apparent to the empire of zealots the president has cultivated.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? I'm JD Vance, and I approve this message.
Begging the question of how did we get here? Well, I think, as you've gathered, a lot of it had to do with our pal, Peter Thiel. It was Thiel who Vance had reached out to following his talk at Yale, and it was Thiel who took the future vice president under his wing after graduating. Vance officially moved to San Francisco around 2014 and found a job working at Mithril Capital, another Thiel-founded VC that took its name from Tolkien. From there, the two only grew closer. Thiel wrote a promotional blurb for Hillbilly Elegy in 2016 and went on to fund Vance's own VC in 2019, Narya Capital, which also took its name from fucking Tolkien, dude. Oh my god, what is wrong with these guys? We get it! But it wasn't until Vance began flirting with a Senate run that Thiel really turned on the money spigot, fueling Vance's campaign to the tune of 8 figures, a lucrative investment that Vance absolutely needed in order to get over the finish line in a competitive Republican field that saw multiple candidates vying for Trump's approval. Despite his past comments, Vance still had a leg up thanks to Thiel, who brokered a truce between the two men at Mar-a-Lago, according to Silverman. Like Masters, Vance also benefited from a few last-minute cash infusions from Thiel that gave the campaign the shot in the arm it very much needed. While his relationship to Trump may be accurately identified as blatant and shallow opportunism, it was Peter Thiel who made such an otherwise impossible alliance possible. It is for that reason that JD Vance owes his current position in power to Peter Thiel more than any other single person. But what were some of the other ways in which the billionaire molded his young Appalachian protege? Well, it was also through Thiel that Vance met software developer and blogger Curtis Yarvin, a self-described reactionary extremist, as written by Duran, and the Thielverse's very own house political philosopher, as Chafkin put it. In his book, Silverman depicted Yarvin as a reactionary monarchist writer, whom Thiel had sponsored for years and who argued for an American dictator or CEO, views which Yarvin has made extremely clear himself.
Another word for monarch in the 20th century context is obviously a despot or a dictator.
Or a CEO.
Born in 1973, Curtis Yarvin attended several Ivy League schools and began writing under the pseudonym Mencius Moldbug in 2007, detailing his worldview on two main blogs, Unqualified Reservations and Gray Mirror. And I'll be honest, we could sit here and talk about this dude for an entire video if we really wanted to, but I don't. If you want the true deep dive on Yarvin, I'd recommend the Behind the Bastards podcast or any of the coverage done by Sam Cedar and the Majority Report, linked down below in the description. But for the general rundown, I think we should start at the intro of Gil Duran's piece in The New Republic, which highlights a 2008 post from Yarvin where he suggests converting non-productive members of society into biodiesel to fuel muni buses. Now, he claims this is a joke, but says he is serious about the need to find what he calls a humane alternative to genocide. That is, the ideal solution achieves the same result result as mass murder, the removal of undesirable elements from society, but without any of the moral stigma. One of the most scaring the hose sentences ever crafted, maybe? At its most basic, Yarvin's whole shtick is saying democracy cannot work, and that we must instead allow an all-encompassing monarch to take control of the state if we ever want things to change. Yarvin believes that America should be run by a monarch, not unlike the way a CEO runs a tech startup. In his own words, it's time Americans get over their dictator phobia.
What is government? A government is just a corporation which owns a country. Nothing more, nothing less. You have to say, well, what is a system actually? And it includes a lot of things that are called NGOs, things that are called universities, things that are funded by the state. It's a very, very large system, and it all needs to be destroyed. And finally, you need a CEO, and a national CEO is what's called a dictator. It's the same thing. There's no difference between a CEO and a dictator. If Americans want to change their government, we're going to have to get over their dictator phobia.
In Yarvin's ideal society, governments would be broken down into smaller ones, called patchworks, which he outlined in 2008 by writing, "As the crappy governments we inherited from history are smashed, they should be replaced by a global spiderweb of tens, even hundreds of thousands of sovereign and independent mini-countries, each governed by its own joint stock corporation without regard to the residents' opinions. Each patchwork would be ruled by a realm, or rather, a corporation with absolute power, according to Duran, who provided this example from another one of Yarvin's essays. The realm, having sovereign power, can compel the resident to comply with all promises. Since San Francisco is not an Islamic state, it does not ask its residents to agree that their hand will be cut off if they steal, but it could. And San Francisco, likewise, can promise not to cut off its residents' hands until it is blue in the face, but since it is a sovereign state, no one can enforce this promise against it. Duran points out that Yarvin has also drawn ire for calling slavery a natural human relationship akin to that of a patron and client. Despite insisting he isn't a white nationalist, Yarvin wrote in 2007 of white nationalism that he is not exactly allergic to the stuff, as should be the case of any intellectual. Anyone who takes this as an endorsement of white nationalism is an idiot, he wrote. But this was in 2007. If you fast forward to 2025, Yarvin is hardly shy in discussing what led him to the realization that things were going to happen and history had not ended. Not unlike 12-year-old boys scrolling TikTok today, Yarvin seems to have been particularly touched by an edit he once saw on YouTube.
To describe the first moment in which I realized that, things were going to happen and history had not ended. It was like 2005 or something. YouTube was a new thing. And I saw this video. I'm sure it's long since disappeared, but it was really just kind of burned a hole in me. It was actually just a sequence of photos sort of presented with a kind of slow, animated zoom in, dissolve, sad piano music sort of over it. The even photos and the odd photos all matched. And the even photos were sort of brightly colored pictures of just general Western, decadence.
What is on
Something's wrong here.
It wasn't until 2013 that Yarvin would find.
What the fuck is you on about?
Schlatt family, this is the most serious video I think I've ever made, okay? And I've made a lot of serious videos in the past. This one tops them all. There's no other way to put this, but someone has been impersonating me. They look exactly like me, and they only show up at furry conventions. I'm not joking. Here's how it started, okay? So I use Twitter, right? Sometimes I see tweets that people at me in. So this was a tweet I saw in May of last year. Super nice to meet you at FWA at Jay Schlatt. And it's got 7,000 favorites. Okay, right? This is not me. Okay, people? He has mutton chops, yes. He's wearing the Yankee, yes. Yes, I get it. That's a thing I used to do. But this... Right, we can see at least a little difference, I was very quick to put this rumor to bed. Couple days later, I tweeted out, that is not me. 145,000, 3 million people saw this. That's good, right? And look, just to clear the air here, FWA, I have no idea what that is. I was not there. And this guy, that is a crazy thing to see. Let me just say, if people see me taking photos with that, my reputation takes a hit. What else is this guy post? He follows me. Oh, wow. That can't, my reputation takes a hit. What else is this guy post? He follows me. Oh, wow. That can't be like that. Oh, I looked at it again. Normally it'd be fine, right? Like one jokey tweet, that's fine. You know, I get it. The guy looks like me. I can handle one tweet, right? But it kept happening. Schlatt and I got sauced up at Furry Weekend. It's called Furry Weekend? Furry Weekend Atlanta. Great. And then apparently there was a car meet at FWA too, and he went to that too. Jay Schlatt, always happy to meet a fan. Who are you, bro? Who are you? What is that? A rat? Great, we got a rat calling me his fan. And it's not even me. I didn't know Jay Schlatt was chill like that. What are you wearing? Are you wearing a jock strap? It was so cool meeting you, man. Hold on, boys, before we keep going. You know what time it is. $1,000 at a point.
In America,
No.
Launch me, sire! Launch me to the next province.
Thanks, man.
Keep blowing him! Keep blowing that load!
Alrighty, the new primitive only servers. I haven't been this keen for a Rust update in a very long time. And do you know why that is? There's no guns, which means no roof campers. No getting beamed by AKs or MP5s. No roaming hazmats and Thompsons. Just good old fashioned Rust. The way it was bloody intended, man.
I will finish what you started.
Ooh, it's a lot of frags for vanilla. Oh god, forgot how slow vanilla is. I'm thinking around here's a good spot.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, dude. It's I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, even on a primitive server, everyone's in a big clan. Oh, God, I hate Eokers. Oh, man, I love Eokers. Oh, we've actually got clothes.
Hey, you dog. What are you doing, you dog? Come on, mate. I just put a bow on me, don't.
Yeah, both big loot and primitive.
Boys, I need help, please.
He's on the mountain.
Kill yourself. You're I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Fucks, dude. It's just primitive. Another one right there.
Bro, please. We finally got ready to make a start, bro. Come on.
Shall I
bro,
get the
we
violin
finally
out?
got ready to start, man.
Someone get me my tiny violin.
Unwittingly, they're moving towards almost certain death.
Got the hint, boys. Having pretty good luck just farming these guys at the moment.
It's so good with the fucking bow and arrow.
Stop fucking running from me.
Holy shit. Rod, you slow.
This is him. This is the guy.
Holy shit. Wish I got to loot the rest of the bodies, but that's so juicy. Jesus, look out, boys. Coming in hot.
barbarian horde.
Oh, okay. Never mind, I'll go back to my base. I think they're looking for me. Let me get rid of the horse. Otherwise they'll know I live here.
He's been camping our base for 20 minutes. You boys are legends.
Hey, brother, I don't know nothing about no stolen generator, brother.
Oh, just went flying off his horse. Oh. Okay, I guess these two bases are like fighting each other. Oh my god, they're flinging people. Well, he's definitely hiding in here.
Feel the wrath of ancient vengeance.
I hope you enjoyed the new primitive server. What is this guy doing? Charging me with the building plan here.
Mission failed.
You suck.
Where? Where?
Touch some grass.
Fuck you.
Everyone primitive is fucking violent. I got a full inventory, I'm out of there. Well, that doesn't sound good. I just ran back to their base. I wonder if they're gonna try and raid me. Wouldn't surprise me.
Do you know what we are? We're fucking cock destroyers, aren't we, babe? Fucking destroyer.
I get what they're trying to do here. Oh, I see.
Propane and propane accept.
I'm about to bust.
Oh my god. I didn't get to close my door in time. Oh, he killed himself. Oh, for fuck. Well, back to hitting rocks and trees for the next 3 hours. Playing vanilla solo should be illegal.
Fucking touch me.
Maybe we make a tier 2. Let's do that. We'll make another tier 2, and maybe we can start researching like shields and the one-handed crossbow. Alright, let's go farm some scrap at night time during the rain. Also, there's someone over here. Oh. Oh, this base is decaying. I need to get back there ASAP. Move some of these. Oh, baby. This is actually huge. Oh, satchels? Might even seal this thing back up so no one else can get in. Oh my, let's make a research table and research the 4-shot crossbow. Yeah, boy! And I got the metal shield. Alright, let's give it a go. I need to try this thing out. Oh, this thing is so cool. My man's gonna have scrap and components. No. Wait, Paddle Guy's in there. It's alright, Paddle Guy. I'm not gonna kill you. Oh, there's someone else here though. Careful, careful, careful.
You'll not kill him, but you'll kill me.
You're aiming at me.
Kill him.
Let's get him,
Get
Paddle
him.
Guy. Oh my god. R.I.P. Paddle Guy.
He died because of you. It was because of you.
It was because of you! Really can't recycle right now. I've got too much shit on me. Sorry, Paddle Guy. Shield formation!
Oh my god! Ah!
I've got you in my sights.
Come on over. We're getting attacked by a bear.
Having some bear problems, are we, boys?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, he died to the bear. Ow.
If I was you, I'd just stay in the base, bro. Bro, stop shooting, bro. You can't shoot.
I've got you in my sight.
Bro, just stay in your base, little bro.
Assuming they're recycling right now. I know where you live, little bro. Oh, someone's trying to take the ram. I think he's out of fuel. Kinda wanna raid that thing. Okay, let's just put some fuel in it, drive it over here and see if we can finish off this base. Turn, damn it! Oh, just taking a bit of damage. Oh my. Alright, you know what? We'll just make our own. He's closed his eyes, he's going to sleep. It's alright, you can open your eyes, it's gonna be okay. You got nothing to fear. I think I'm just gonna raid this base in front of me. Every other base that I've come across has had like 5 people in it.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Oh my god, this hill is making it so hard for me. So I think I'm gonna kill this guy that's down here because I don't really want him to run in when I knock the doors down and just like get everything. Shoo, fly, shoo. Okay, so we're in. I mean, raid successful, but some dookie loot. Of course, someone's trying to steal it. Oh, great. Can I just hide in this or what? Look at them all.
I will find him!
I'm gonna bleed to death. Wait, did I actually just get out of that? 2000 IQ play or what? Compound bow really is just a shit tier weapon, isn't it? Oh, maybe not.
You're a little freak, dude. Yeah.
Where?
How about those apples, huh? Stimpy? No fucking way.
Bro, all I said was where? What's going on up here? Looks like they just killed someone.
The hands of death could not defeat.
Holy shit, now that's a fucking primitive fight right there. Only love can hurt like this. Yeah, yeah, take it away. You know that song, right?
Hey, beautiful.
Whoa, you've heard me before. Whoa.
Stand behind Brom. Maybe not, there's 3 of them. You might want to stop farming and just run for it.
Owie, no.
Run!
Oh, I'm gonna bleed out.
Oh.
Look at these maidenless losers. I've been slain.
Time to go inside. Holy shit. Hey, Pop.
Hey, who's this?
Did you get raided?
I don't know. I can show you the base that off-blind everyone if you want.
Oh, I think I already know who it is. Is it those people that kind of live like pretty much northeast?
Yeah, pretty much. I live on the top there. I live on the top of the hill. That's me.
Right.
And then the next big base on the bottom there by the river is them. Yeah.
Yeah, they raided me last night as well. Oh shit.
I've just been farming all day because they tried to offline me.
Oh.
I didn't quite get all the way in. I got the BPs, so if you've got the resources, I've got BPs to build on.
Well, if you decide to, let me...
Unreal.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I'm surprised to see they added cats.
Cats?
Yeah, they had a Tagaloo cat.
What? What are you talking about?
Tagaloo cat my bum.
What? What are you talking about?
Tagaloo cat my bum. Yeah, they had a Tagaloo cat.
What? What are you talking about?
Tagaloo cat my bum.
They're in, boys.
Yeah, we did. Hey, you rude the day you raided me.
Careful, he's on that big thing.
He's on the ballista! I aimed that thing at him.
Oh my god. He's destroying it.
Oh yeah, baby.
This is the most depressing shit I've ever been a part of.
I wonder if that's destroying his base. I don't even fucking know if this works. Who hit-shot him? He might be dead.
Are you able to repair this at all?
Does anyone have wood?
No. Oh! Well, that went about as well as I thought it would. Alright, I've officially tried every single thing there is to do in this new patch and this new server. One-handed crossbow, shields, primitive combat, catapult, battering ram, the explosive canisters, everything. I'm out of here.
But not with that little kiss. Alright. Let me get in. Let me play some games. Let's do a little bit of the spaceport. Let's do little loadouts here. What are we gonna go in with? That's a very good question. Only Okay. Jesus. Sorry. I'm dying here. I'm dying. I guess we'll take the kettle. Why not? Let's make some things for the kettle. That's a mechanical component. 3 of these. Okay. Maybe a bit more ammo, just a smidge. this is my only weapon. I'm gonna go in with a bit more.
What can I do for you, pal? Need a patch job? Nice doing business with you.
Wait. Split stack. 3. Alright, we're good to go. Yeah.
You know, I read somewhere.
What'd you read somewhere? You read. That's good.
It's like a... Alright, we got the key right here. Let's see if it cranks over. We'll see how many miles are on it. Looks like the battery is drained. Start working on this thing. So what we're gonna do is start tearing this thing down. We'll take these side plastics off, check the oil first, and kind of go from there. We'll get these side pieces off here. So, what we're gonna do now is try to take off this whole console thing and get to the coils here.
So we're in here for a bit of everything. Metal components. This would be nice. Whatever I find is good for me. Where can we go?
Let's go to the container storage.
Let's do the basics. Let's hit the basics. So how you guys doing today? You guys doing good? I didn't get to sleep much last night, but it is a-okay. I will sleep tonight. Maybe. Maybe even go take a nap soon. I'll be laughing at you. I'm a little tired. I am not as energetic as usual. Sorry about that. Let me just get my screen a little closer to me. Try to see if people are friendly. I will act friendly. Not act, sorry, I will be friendly. It's $5,000. I'll pick that up. Take a silencer. Birds went off there. Okay. So far, so good. Take all of that though. Okay. Let me put myself a little louder here.
Don't shoot!
Hey, you friendly? Hey, buddy, you friendly?
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Okay. Okay, I gotta get out some pretty good. I'm gonna go pick up the ammo back from upstairs.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Okay. Okay, I'm worth a pretty penny. Oh no. I don't have a defib on me. Sir, are you okay in there? Sir. Do you need help killing this thing? Hello?
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Hello? Are you here? Can you hear me? Hey, we're cool. I just want to help you kill this thing. Is that okay? Brother, are you, I think you're under me. Is that okay? We got this. We got this. Let's kill this thing together. Hey, we're all cool here. I'm here to help you. I don't want the loot. I just want to help you. Hey, can I help you?
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Hey, we're cool, we're cool, we're cool. I just want to kill this thing. You want to help me? Oh no, I'm not. I'm helping somebody else. I don't even want the loot. I'm just helping them. They're under me.
Oh shit, yeah.
But he's not talking to me, so I'm scared. But whatever. Oi, mate, where you at? Oh, there you are. Hey, brother, take this.
Yeah, it's 2 legs pulled off.
Complex gun parts.
Take this.
Here.
We can share the loots. There you go. Alright. Brother, under us, are you okay to get the loot? I'm coming in as a friendly. There's one dead person, but I could have sworn... there's somebody else. Hey, we're cool, we're cool, we're cool. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Okay, well... I mean, I saw somebody... Well, I mean, if it was him, oh, so much for that. Yeah, get so you can get his stuff. Yeah, GG, you can get his stuff, I guess.
Yeah, what? We can split it. I feel bad.
You can get the if I get any parcels, you can get them. I don't really want them. There's one in this leg right here.
Some parts we can scavenge. Here.
progress, dog. I appreciate you.
All right, you stay safe, brother.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. Don't mind if I do. Mm. Hmm. More incumbents. Surprise, surprise. Good, that's that. No, get away from that. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we gotta get out of here. I kinda want these more than anything. Okay, let's get out of here. How can we get out?
Head home at the east elevator.
We're pretty grouped up now. No, you know what? I'm gonna stick inside. Okay. Okay. Hey, friendly? Friendly, friendly. We're chilling, we're chilling. I'm walking by, don't worry. Hey, is it okay if I come deploy this, the zipline?
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck is.
I'm cool, I'm right here. I'm cool, I'm cool. Come. Let's get out of here. You can come through the zipline. Hey man, we're cool, we're cool. I'm coming in hot. We're cool, we're cool, we're cool, we're cool. Wait, oh, is it? Oh, you're the same guy.
Don't shoot!
We're cool, brother, we're cool. Hi, how are you? Nice skin, brother. Boy, come here. Take this, come here.
No.
Okay, how about this?
No.
How about this? Take this. Okay, fine. Come, give me a kiss. Mwah.
No. Thanks.
Oh, these are pretty useful. You want that? That's pretty useful. There you go.
Thanks.
No problem, brother. Hey, come on, brother. Come here. I see you over there. Come here, brother.
What's going on?
Let's circle jerk.
Hey, don't shoot!
So
An arc orbiter is en route. The safe window is closing. You have 10 minutes to return to Speranza. I repeat, 10 minutes.
Here, Raider. Come here. Come here. Yeah? Check this out.
Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. Very good raid. Did I come in with 8 ammo left? And I think it was from from the magazine. Okay. Recycle all of that. Put that away. I will need all of that actually. I'll put everything back in. I'll go back out. Okay. Okay. Guess I need some rubber parts. Actually, let me go buy everything I can from Celeste.
Come on in. Perfect.
I can just buy a bunch of rubber parts from her, actually.
They say overwatering is worse than underwatering. Perfect.
That's true. I'll take on those. Thank you very much. Let's do Buried City. Yeah. People in Buried City don't tend to be very nice, but you know what? We'll give it our best.
We don't start a fire doing this. So let's crank her over. See what happens.
Kind of a bitch to get through all of that. Oh, that doesn't sound friendly. somebody's on the roof.
Hey, don't shoot!
I'll pick some of this up because I'm here.
Don't shoot!
Hey, you friendly? Friendly, friendly.
Don't shoot!
Nice.
Don't shoot! Hey, don't shoot!
Mm-hmm.
Don't shoot!
Hopefully everybody's nice and friendly. I doubt it. There's so many flares going off.
Hey, don't shoot!
Hey, we can all be friends here. Hey, friendly? Friendly? That means somebody was right behind me.
Hey, don't shoot!
This map is giving me anxiety, bro.
Hey, don't shoot!
Okay, so the bullet drop is not that bad, actually.
Don't shoot!
I don't like being next to the pharmacy, to be honest. Too much traffic. Somebody has to deal with karma. Gentlemen. Who shot first? Yo, who shot first?
It doesn't matter, man.
Who shot first? I can revive one of you. I can revive one of you.
Get him.
You
The
shot
left,
first.
your left, your left, your left, your left, your left. There you go.
Appreciate it.
Alright, brother. Have a good day.
Man, I wish I had one too. Alright, GG's.
Anything good?
Free kit.
Alright.
Rattler.
Alright. It is what it is.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you stay safe. Are you looking for anything in particular? Or just PvP?
Not really. Nah, not even PvP, just whatever I find.
Alright, good sir. Have a good day.
Alright, you too.
They're shooting that. I'm gonna help them. Seems like he's got it. Yes, my dear? Give me just a second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Hey, you friendly in there?
Don't shoot!
Hey, you friendly on top over there? Right here.
Yeah, I'm friendly. Yep, friendly.
That's weird. There's like an audio glitch right there.
Over there.
Orbiter is en route. The safe window is closing. 10 minutes to get out of there. I repeat, 10 minutes.
Okay, let's get out of here, I guess.
Don't shoot!
There's a dead body right in front of me.
Hey, don't shoot! Don't shoot!
All raiders, we have Ark on screen. 5 minutes left. Go find a way home. I repeat, 5 minutes.
Don't shoot! Hey, don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Hey, we're all cool here, boys. We're all cool. Alright. Please. Let's go. Okay. We're all cool here, boys. We're all cool. We're all cool. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, I'm gonna do something real quick for my wife. Give me a second. Okay, give me a second, boys. I'll be back.
you can see that's melted up there too for the sensor. Okay, fish these plugs out of here. See where they broke off. See that? So we're gonna try to take 8 vice grips, get a hold of that and pull. That one broke off. Up too. Little to that spark plug. See if I can get it to stick down in there further. All right, tester in there. Crowbar. We have 250 pounds of compression now on that one. So oil definitely made a difference. All right.
Let's go to water treatment control.
Mushroom.
Don't shoot! We're here, okay. Hey, don't shoot!
Try to be friendly. See if everybody wants to be friendly. Anybody wants to be friendly, I'm not sure.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Hey, you friendly up there? Hey, you friendly?
Hey.
Friendly?
Yeah.
Alright, alright. I'm right below you.
Awesome.
I will take all of that.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Hey, don't shoot!
Hey, friendly, friendly.
Okay, don't
Friendly,
shoot!
friendly. Are you friendly? You just walked past me.
Don't shoot!
Are you friendly, brother? Oh, that is not friendly. That is not. You are not nice. Why would you do that to me? Oh, hey, I was defending myself. I see you over here. I was defending myself. This guy's shooting at me. We're cool.
balcony lift.
My internet makes my stream so buggy. It's so bad, I'm so sorry. This shot somebody. Okay.
Standby for hatch. Initiated.
Mm-hmm.
Hatch open. Proceed to elevator.
Okay. Good. Very good. Let's see if anybody's on. See if he wants to do some duos. Hmm.